Yesterday, Saraji explained that only if one observes at the moment of arising, one will see the true nature. It is very important to see the true nature. One should observe, one should know the nama-rupa phenomena that really exist. It is important to see, to know the true phenomena, the nama-rupa phenomena that really exist. In order to see, in order to know, one should observe. And when observing, one should observe with full strength of aiming, directing the noting mind. One should put effort in the practice. When accepting these factors of aim and effort, one's noting mind will fall on the object that is arising at the present moment. The noting will be effective. When the noting is effective, the noting mind will stick onto the object. The noting mind will be sustained on the object, and thus the noting mind is very close to the object of meditation, and thus one will come to know the true nature. The noting mind should be direct or face-to-face with the object. The mind should be calm and collected on the object. When the noting mind falls calm and collected on the object, one will come to know the true nature. So when the noting mind is unified, when the mind is unified, when the mind falls on the object of meditation, one will know correctly, completely, by oneself, indistinctly, outstandingly, and it is called sampajanya, clear comprehension. Clear comprehension meaning that one knows correctly, completely, by oneself, in a very distinct, outstanding way. One should see the true nature of objects. When one sees the true nature of objects, one will also see sankhata, the triple characteristics. The nama-rupa phenomena that are arising due to relevant cause, they have three parts: arising, presence, and dissolution. When one notes the object, one will see the true nature of the object. Seeing the true nature of the object, one also sees the three moments of arising, presence, and dissolution. Arising, present, and dissolution, the moment of arising, presence, and dissolution, they are just timing, and they are not paramattha, but they are concept. So the three moments of arising, presence, and dissolution are called sankhata, the triple characteristics. Only if the three triple characteristics of sankhata are obvious to the yogi, then will the yogi see samanya lakkhana, common characteristic. In every nama-rupa phenomena, there are characteristics of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. These nama-rupa phenomena arise and pass away, and thus they are impermanent. And they are constantly arising and passing away, arising and passing away, and thus they are suffering. And these nama-rupa phenomena, they arise in their own accord, and thus they are anatta, non-self. When one sees these characteristics of impermanent, suffering, and non-self, one develops Vipassana. So it means that when one sees Samanya Lakhana, when one sees common or universal characteristics, the person develops Vipassana Jnana, insight, knowledge. So, in order to see Sankhata, the triple characteristic, or Samanya Lakhana, common characteristic, one does not have to look for these characteristics. One does not have to look for, one does not have to search for Sankhata, the triple characteristic, or Samanya Lakhana, common characteristic. When the noting mind is very close to the object, when the noting mind is closest to the object, one will come to know the true nature, such as stiffness, tension, warmth, heat, cold, and so on. Seeing the true nature, one will also see the three parts of the beginning, middle, and the end. Or in other words, moment of arising, presence, and dissolution, which is called Sankhata, triple characteristic. So by seeing Sabhava, true nature, these three parts will be obvious to the yogi automatically. And when three parts, beginning, middle, and the end, is obvious to the yogi, one automatically understands that things are impermanent. So in this way, one understands impermanence through one's true knowledge. But some of the yogis, they are mistaken, they have some misunderstanding, especially Westerners. Some of the Westerner teachers are guiding their yogis to look or to observe the beginning, middle, and the end of rising and falling. So these yogis were asked by their teachers to look for the beginning, middle, and the end of the object. And these yogis were misguided, and they were looking for the beginning, middle, and the end of these objects. What actually should be is that yogis should not look for the beginning, middle, or the end of true nature. But when the true nature is known by the yogi, these triple characteristics of arising, presence, and dissolution will be manifest to the yogi automatically when the yogi sees the true nature. So, when we say that the beginning, middle, and the end, what it means that when the rising arises, when the rising of the abdomen arises, one should note, one should follow from the very beginning of the rising all the way through till the end of rising. And one should follow very carefully. And also, when falling of the abdomen arises, one should follow, one should observe from the very beginning of the falling all the way through till the end of falling. That means one should be observing the entire rising from the very beginning till the end. One should be observing the entire falling from the very beginning till the end. So it shows the object to be noted, so that yogis should be observing the entire object from the very beginning all the way through till the end of the object. Beginning, middle, and the end are manner, and they are not sabhava, they are not true nature. So when the yogis observe these objects, how they should observe is that they should observe rising of the abdomen from the very beginning all the way through till the end of rising. So actually it is very simple, but some of the yogis are getting confused. Some of the yogis misunderstood that they should be seeing the beginning, middle, or the end. So they are looking for beginning, middle, and the end of objects, which is not the true instruction. So yogis are misguided by some of the teachers, and these yogis are wasting their time because they are looking for the beginning, middle, and the end. And yogis should be careful that they are not misunderstanding. When the visible sight strikes on the eye base, the ignition such as seeing consciousness takes place. So the striker, the visible object, and the receptor, eye base, and the ignition, seeing consciousness, they are the true nature. So these are to be observed and noted. So these elements, these elements, striker element, receptor element, and ignition element, are the objects to be noted. They are the field of objects. But one should not be observing everything in the field of objects, but one should choose the object that is presently arising, and one should note this presently arising object. And these objects are paramattha, they are ultimate truth. These objects arise and pass away, and thus they are impermanent, because they are opposite of permanent, and thus these phenomena are impermanent. The objects that are impermanent, they arise, they do not last long, but they dissolve after arising. So they arise and pass away, they dissolve after arising. So the manner of arising and passing away are called akara, manner of impermanence, or characteristic of impermanence. Whatever object that arises, one should be noting it right away. As soon as one hears, as soon as one sees, one should note it right away as soon as the object arises. By noting the object as soon as the object arises, one is knowing nama rupa, mind and matter. As the yogi continues the practice, yogi will be seeing the true nature. As the yogi is digest in seeing the true nature, then the yogi sees the arising, the presence, and the dissolution. So the manner of arising, presence, and dissolution will manifest to the yogi. One does not have to look for the manner of arising, presence, and dissolution, but these manner of arising, presence, and dissolution will manifest to the yogi automatically. So anicca lakkhana is the characteristic of impermanence. As the yogi is observing the object at the moment of arising, yogi sees that the object arises and passes away when she is noting the object. The knowledge contemplating the arising and passing away of the object, seeing the arising and passing away when noting the object, is called anicca nupassana jnana, contemplation knowledge contemplating on the impermanence of object. When noting the object, yogi will see three things. The first one is impermanent. The second one is anicca lakkhana, manner of impermanence or characteristic of impermanence. And the third thing is knowledge, knowing impermanence. In Pali, it is said that anicca veditava, impermanent, should be known. Anicca lakkhana veditava, characteristic of impermanence, should be known. Anicca nupassana veditava, knowledge contemplating the impermanence, also should be known. The nama-rupa phenomena, they are arising as receptor element, striker element, and ignition element. So these elements of receptor element, striker element, and ignition element, they are impermanent because they arise and pass away. Because they arise and pass away, they are opposite of permanent, and thus they are impermanent. So that's why impermanent is used as an adjective describing these elements, such as impermanent receptor, impermanent striker, impermanent ignition. The manner of arising and passing away is called anicca lakkhana, characteristic of impermanence, and it is manner. It is said that hotva abhavakaro, hotva means arising, initiating or arising. Abhavakaro means the manner of passing away. Because things pass away after arising, it is impermanent. The manner of passing and the manner of arising and passing away is the characteristic of impermanence. When the yogi is noting the object, when the yogi understands impermanence, when noting the object, is called anicca nupassana, knowledge contemplating the impermanence. Anicca nupassana is the knowledge knowing impermanence. When the yogi sees that the object passes away after arising, then seeing the dissolution of the object, yogis know that the object is impermanent. When does this knowledge, knowing impermanence, arise? When does this knowledge arise? And how does this knowledge into impermanence arise? When the yogi sees the dissolution of the object, yogi knows the impermanence. When objects are arising, yogi is noting, observing the object. When the yogi is noting, observing the object, yogi sees the dissolution of the object when noting. Only when the yogi sees the dissolution of the object will the yogi know the impermanence. At what time the yogi know the impermanent, and how will the yogi know the impermanent? Will the yogi know in the object that has arisen, the object that is to arise, or the presently arising object? When the object is arising at the present moment, when there is rising of the abdomen, yogi observes the rising. When the yogi is observing, at the moment the yogi is observing the rising, yogi sees the dissolution of rising when he/she is observing. When the yogi sees the dissolution, then the yogi knows the impermanence. Only when the yogi knows impermanence, then yogi develops anicca nupassana jnana. So it is said that at the moment the yogi is observing the object, yogi sees the object dissolve, yogi sees the dissolution of the object, and thus yogi develops anicca nupassana jnana. So this anicca nupassana jnana is not gained through thoughts or imagining. It is not learned from the text. It is not learned from the books. Anicca nupassana jnana cannot be learned through the teaching of the teacher. But as the yogi is noting, observing the object, at the moment of noting the object, yogi sees the dissolution of the object, and thus yogi develops anicca nupassana jnana. So in order to develop anicca nupassana jnana, one should note the object with aim and effort. There should be sustained mindfulness. When the mind falls calm and collected on the object, at the moment yogi is noting the object, yogi sees the dissolution of the object. Seeing the dissolution of the object, yogi understands impermanence, and thus yogi develops anicca nupassana jnana. So anicca nupassana jnana will be developed when the yogi is observing the object, when the yogi discerns through his or her true knowledge. Only if it is discerned through his or her own knowledge, it will be true anicca nupassana jnana. By practicing Satipatthana, one develops sampajana or sampajanya. Sampajanya is knowledge. It is clear comprehension. Sampajanya is made up of sa, pa, and janya. Knowing correctly, not knowing wrongly, but one knows correctly as it really is. By observing, by practicing systematically according to the correct method, one comes to know completely. By noting the object, one sees the manner of arising and passing away. One sees completely, correctly, and it is sampajanya. In the word sampajanya, sam means samandato. It means in every way, in every aspect, which means completely. So sampajanya is the kind of knowledge not gained through theory or not gained through learning from the teacher, but the knowledge is gained through one's practice. Pācanya means distinctly, clearly, individually. One will not be mixed. One's knowledge will not be mixed, but one will know distinctly, individually. Even the same kind of nature, it is different. The preceding one and the succeeding one is different, even though it is the same nature. When the yogi is noting the object, yogi sees the true nature. Even the same nature is different moment by moment. When a person looks at the stream of current, it may seem that it is the same water, but actually it is not. The old water passes, the new water comes. In the same way, the phenomena that are arising is not the same. It is different moment by moment. When the yogi observes very carefully, yogi sees distinctly, individually of the true nature, and thus yogi's knowledge will be distinct and clear. Such kind of knowledge is not gained through theory or learning from teacher, but it is from one's own practice. Sampajanya here means knowing distinctly by oneself, knowing distinctly correctly, knowing distinctly completely, knowing outstandingly by oneself, knowing correctly by oneself, outstandingly, knowing outstandingly completely. And one develops anicca-nupassana when one sees the manner of arising and passing away, and one discerns distinctly in a very clear way. To the yogis who practice diligently according to the guidance given, yogi will develop anicca-nupassana jnana. Sayadaw explains using the example given a few days ago. When the person sits down from standing position, there is series of intentions to sit, and the actual sitting in a series. Series of intention to sit arises like a stream of current. Series of actual sitting arises like a stream of current. If one is not mindful, one will see it as a whole, and one will not know impermanence, and one will not know the true nature. When one is mindful, when one observes carefully, one sees that these nama-rupa are arising as cause and effect. There is a pair of intention to sit and the rupa sitting. The intention to sit and the actual sitting are arising in pair. And also, the intention to sit and the actual sitting, which are in pair, they arise and pass away. The intention to sit and the rupa, materiality, the actual sitting, both are anicca, impermanent. And the intention to sit and the actual sitting arises in pair, disappears, dissolves in pair. Arising and dissolving, arising and dissolution of the pair, intention and the actual sitting is anicca lakkhana, characteristic of impermanence. One should sit slowly, inch by inch. One should not abruptly sit down, but one should be mindful, and one should sit inch by inch, stage by stage. When observing the sitting down, stage by stage, one understands that the pair of nama-rupa, the pair arising as intention and the actual sitting down, the pair of this nama-rupa comes to a dissolution. Seeing the dissolution of the intention and the sitting is called anicca-nupassana. It is the knowledge seeing the dissolution of the intention and the actual sitting at the moment of noting sitting. Sayadaw gives another example. When doing sitting meditation, heat arises at some part of the body. Heat is materiality, it is rupa. And this heat is anicca, impermanent. Heat arises and passes away. Arising and passing away of the heat is anicca lakkhana, characteristic of impermanence. When the yogi is noting the heat, yogi sees each and individual heat, and finally the heat comes to a dissolution, and thus yogi discerns the impermanence at the moment of noting heat when the heat dissolves. So the knowledge knowing impermanence at the moment of noting is called anicca nupassana jnana. So to explain it again, heat, the object, heat is anicca, impermanent. Heat arises and passes away, and this is anicca lakkhana, characteristic of impermanence. When the yogi is noting heat, heat arises and dissolves. Seeing the dissolution of heat, yogi understands that it is impermanent. Knowing that heat is impermanent, yogi develops anicca nupassana jnana. And Saraji gives an example. There is an outfit that a person likes. The person likes the outfit so much, but when the person spreads the outfit and take a look at it, the person sees one hole here, one hole there, another hole here. There are 3 holes in the outfit. So when seeing the 3 holes in the outfit, what will the person think of the outfit? The person does not even want to touch the outfit anymore, because the outfit has defects. The outfit has 3 holes. So the holes are on the outfit. The holes are not the true nature. It is just a sign or the manner. In this example, the outfit is compared to the true nature. 3 holes are compared to the manner. 3 holes are compared to the manner or characteristics, the 3 characteristics. If one does not observe the nama-rupa phenomena, one will not see the fault or the flaws of nama-rupa. As long as one does not see the flaws or the faults of nama-rupa, one will hold high esteem on these nama-rupa phenomena. Thinking of them as good, holding high esteem of these nama-rupa, one is expecting for good things, and one grasps onto the good object that one has gotten. Expecting good objects, it is tanha, craving, grasping onto one's own, grasping on the things that one has obtained, it is upagana, clinging. When one is observing the nama-rupa phenomena, one comes to know distinctly the nama-rupa, and one also comes to know cause and effect. And one discerns that these nama-rupa phenomena are arising and passing away, and thus they are impermanent. And Saraji says the example, when one has not seen the 3 holes in the outfit, one likes the outfit so much. Seeing the 3 holes, one does not like it anymore. If the three holes are big, one will not wear the outfit anymore, but one will throw the outfit away. In the same way, when one has not discerned the characteristic of impermanent suffering and non-self, one holds very high esteem of these nama-rupa phenomena. When observing the nama-rupa phenomena, when one sees the characteristic of impermanent suffering and non-self, one will not have high esteem on the nama-rupa as one did before. And Saraji will continue to explain tomorrow. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.